this ball. Will it slip?
Virat's on strike.
Magnificent! 100 of the highest quality.
When we think Virat Kohli, we think passion, we think aggression, we think intensity. But in today's video, I'm not going to talk about these things that are very evident from who Virat Kohli is. I'm going to go a little more deeper. I'm going to break down the psychology of the man, the decisions he makes, and what you and I as business owners can learn from his journey that can be very relevant to our journey of growing our businesses. For years, as cricket lovers, we all have seen our great cricketers endorse soft drink brands like Pepsi, Thumbs Up, Coca-Cola. And then came this young cricketer who was starting to grow in his career and was looked at as the future of Indian cricket, who refused to endorse any of these soft drinks because he understood his responsibility as an upcoming icon. Think about it. The first lesson you and I can learn from Virat Kohli is the lesson of authenticity, the lesson of standing up for what we truly believe in. He is one of the first and probably only in the generation when he said no to endorsing any of these soft drink brands because he believed it's his responsibility as a cricketer, as an upcoming icon, to not endorse something that is not going to serve the health of his audience. This, according to me, was the great hallmark of the beginning of the iconic status that Virat Kohli went on to gain. Because think about it, the money that cricketers earn on brand endorsements is massive. But very early in his career, Virat made a decision and said no to that money. That tells you that here is a man who knows his responsibility as an upcoming icon. That tells you here is a man who believes in his principles, his values, and will never put his name against something that he does not consume and he believes is not for the best interest of his audience. Ask ourselves as business owners this question: where are we not being authentic in our journey? Sometimes I have seen business owners who carry a certain kind of value system but compromise on that value system, be it with a customer who's demanding a kickback or a commission, or be it with a team member who they know is lying, cheating or stealing, but because he's in an important position, they don't really make decisions in alignment with their own values, and they end up compromising and allowing their business to be hijacked by something that is not in alignment with who they truly are. The second important lesson that I have learned from the journey of Virat Kohli is that he is a man who takes responsibilities for his flaws.
Luckily, everything that's been bad in me, somehow I get that calling myself that you need to get it right. Like there's hardly anyone coming and telling me, you're really messing up. It just comes from within.
Here's a man who's willing to make changes when he realizes that something is not going to serve him and his passion for the game. I mean, if you look at it, you look at the early days of Virat Kohli. Here was a chubby, plumpy boy with spiked hair, almost like this party animal bad boy image, where you would know and see through this character saying, this guy just loves his drink, his dancing, his partying. But then there came a stage in his career where Virat Kohli became the embodiment of work ethic and discipline.
I've never ever seen a guy like Virat Kohli who can do the simple, most boring things every day of your life. Even today, if he comes to the gym, you can see whether he is performing or not performing, it really doesn't matter. But that zeal and that zest and that extraordinary passion towards excellence, mind-boggling.
In fact, in some of his interviews, he's also acknowledged that at one point of time when he stood shirtless in front of the mirror and he saw some fat around his belly, he said, if I want to be the greatest player of all time, I cannot be this. I cannot look at this person. I cannot myself respect this person.
IPL 2012 again had a really, really bad IPL season, and my eating habits were horrible in that season. Very, very bad. And I remember coming back home and I came out of the shower and then I saw myself in the mirror and I was like, you can't look like that if you're an international cricketer. I was like, how the hell are you going to continue like this if you don't take care of yourself? Boom, from next day onwards, I just changed everything about my diet.
And from there on began the massive transformation of the fitness icon that we all see, which is Virat Kohli. the work ethic he puts in, the nutrition and diet he stands for. The man is the hardest working man in the room, and you can see through that. And I believe as a business owner, when you take on that kind of work ethic, that kind of intensity, that kind of discipline, and become the hardest working man in the room, you're bound to see the fruits of that hard work, and you're bound to make that hard work a part and parcel of who you truly are. It's not something that you got to remind yourself to do. It's not something you got to inspire yourself to do. It's not something you need to motivate yourself to do. It is who you are by default.
So 6 a.m. practice means I was there 5:45 every morning. I'd probably sit there, wait for the fog to clear out, and then start knocking balls before everyone arrived. That just became a norm for me. Even now, when I have the opportunity to go into the gym early or come to practice early, I would take it with both hands, and it's just become a habit for me now.
The third lesson we all can learn as business owners from the journey of Virat Kohli is being a finitiator. Now, I believe this is an important term for all of us as business owners to imbibe in our vocabulary as well. Think about it. As business owners, we love initiating new ideas, we love initiating new processes, we love initiating new initiatives in our businesses. But at the end of the day, results happen only when you finitiate something, not just because you initiated something. And there is no better person on the planet to learn the lesson of being a finitiator from. It is the one and only Virat Kohli. Here's a man who entered Indian cricket and took on the baton from legends like Virender Sehwag and Sachin Tendulkar, from legends like Rahul Dravid and Saurav Ganguly in terms of holding the batting order of the Indian cricket team. Now, when you are taking on the baton from someone like a Sachin Tendulkar, you got to ask yourself, how will I make my place in history? And Virat Kohli made his place in history by being the man who you can count upon when it comes to finishing a run chase.
What have you got, Nawaz? Ashwin goes over, clears the infield. India win a famous win.
For the longest time, the Indian batting order was known as chokers, where the moment Sachin Tendulkar's wicket falls, everybody else would collapse, and when it comes to run chases, we would not be a team that would be confident about ourselves when we got onto the field. But when Virat Kohli started his journey and started registering those hundreds and those 50s as a run chaser, India's paradigm shifted, and today you look at the Indian cricket team as one of the strongest chasing teams in the world, thanks to one man whose average stays above 60 in ODIs when it comes to run chases, and India's winning probability is way higher every time Virat Kohli scores a century or a 50 during a run chase. That, I believe, is a great hallmark of a cricketer who can look at his goal, who can look at the result he has to achieve and stay calm and take his team through the finish line. It's an important lesson for us as business owners who initiate so many ideas and processes but don't take it to the finish line. The fourth important lesson is to have a healthy ego. For most of us as business owners, especially first generation entrepreneurs, we struggle with a lot of self-doubt. We struggle with a lot of apprehension about whether we are made for success, whether we are made for great things or not. Even though we are capable, even though we have great products or services, I have seen business owners who undercharge and undersell themselves because they undervalue themselves, and they fall into this trap because they carry low self-worth about who they are and what they deserve. But here's a man who changed the way the world looks at India and the world looks at Indian cricket. I mean, I remember a time growing up watching test matches overseas when my mum, who's not an ardent cricket follower, would pass by the living room and look at our Indian cricketers playing a test match overseas and say, हमारे player तो बच्चे लगते हैं, सामने वाले तो इतने बड़े-बड़े रावण लगते हैं. And then came Virat Kohli, who through his attitude, through his way of being, through his healthy ego, backed himself, showed aggression on the field, and today India is looked at as one of the most intimidating sides, whether it's playing at home or overseas. Now think about it. It's one man and his belief in himself, his healthy ego, that has transformed the way an entire team looks at themselves and has transformed the way the entire world looks at a team. The question you need to ask yourself is this: where are you undervaluing yourself? and where can you channelize the aggression, the intensity and the energy of Virat Kohli and have that healthy ego, not from the point of view of putting somebody else down, but from the point of view of backing yourself up, backing your capabilities up, backing your own value up. Because think about it, if you don't value yourself, the world will not value you. Now this brings me to the fifth and final lesson that all of us can learn from Virat Kohli as business owners. I think one of the biggest paradigm shifts that Virat Kohli has brought about when it comes to the life of cricketers, that he's been unapologetic about the fact that his work is a part of his life, his work is not his life. Now many a times he's been criticized for the fact that his wife is in the stands or she's traveling with him for tours, but I believe that sends a strong statement. It sends a message out that, hey listen, my family deserves my time as well, and I am here on national duty performing and delivering results. I think this is an important statement, especially when the world has over glorified the fact that one has to be completely immersed in their work and not care about other areas of their life, or if one has to achieve greatness and success, they should disconnect from everything else and only obsess about that work, which I think is a very unfair paradigm on the lives of the family members of that performer, of that business owner, of that athlete, or whatever field you take it in. But Virat Kohli is very clear. My work is a part of my life. It is not my life. And when an icon makes those choices, when you see him living a life beyond the field of cricket with his spouse, with his daughter, that's when you realize that here's a man who understands his priorities, who does what he does best on the field, but also provides his best off the field, which is something that I see many business owners fail to do. Many business owners use their business as an excuse to not take responsibility in other areas of their life, be it their health or their relationships. But when an icon like Virat Kohli can do it, I believe you and I can take that responsibility and reflect on our own choices and not use the path of escapism, using our business as an excuse, but rather take absolute responsibility for all the roles that we have to play and make sure that we live a life of clarity and balance. So for me, Virat Kohli is an icon not just because of what he does for the cricket team on the field, but he's also an icon because of what he stands for even outside the field when it comes to his family. If you enjoyed this video, then I have also created another video where I've broken down lessons that you can learn as a business owner from the journey of the Bollywood mega star, the king of romance, Shah Rukh Khan. So make sure you watch that video as well and imbibe the lessons of greatness from these icons from different fields of life.